Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Haere mai. Welcome to Neat and Not by the Sea. My name is Catherine. My pronouns are she, her, and we're in Victoria's house today.
We are. Kia ora. So I'm Victoria. I'm the second half of Neat and Not, and I can't remember anything else that I had in my head. Today is Saturday, the
24th
of September.
I think it's the 24th.
And we're doing it in the middle of the day, which I'm quite liking. I think we'll carry on.
Yeah, I was busy on Thursday with life.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying the natural light. It's much more forgiving.
Sunny. It's sunny. Is it more forgiving? I don't
I
know.
feel it is. I feel we're not quite so.
I think in real life we're stunners. But the video. Don't know what that's about. But anyway.
Welcome. So this is our flosstube video where we talk about a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, so what's happening in New Zealand that we need to talk about? It's a long weekend, so we're commemorating the death of Queen Elizabeth II.
We are indeed, by having a day off work, and
Tomorrow.
Monday,
which is grand.
and I'm going to rewatch The Crown.
I've been thinking about rewatching The Crown, and then when I actually came to pressing it, I was just like, nah.
Oh, it's good.
I know, I really like it, but I just kind of felt like I've done it.
Yeah.
Like, I just want the next season.
The next season, yeah, hurry up, please,
And then I wondered if they were really going to do it, because now it becomes like touchy.
Oh, well now, I think they were supposed to, I think there's another 2 seasons, 1 or 2 seasons, and I'm like, now, hopefully they'll add another 2 seasons, they'll just go right up to her death, because then it sort of starts when she was little, and then it finishes, it'll be like, that's great, that's a nicely bookended project.
Yeah, maybe. So this morning, before coming to port, we went to the Moana Nui Festival, I think it was called. It's a Pacifica Festival, because New Zealand's an island in the Pacific, a colder island in the Pacific. We have lots of neighbours that live in warmer islands in the Pacific, and we have very close ties with them. There's a lot of Pacifica people that live in New Zealand, and we have, I don't know, do you call it a special relationship or something with some of the islands? Anyway,
If not a special, a very close relationship.
yeah, so the ones that come to mind are like Tonga, Rarotonga, Samoa. Anyway, so we went to the festival, and I'm only telling you this because, full disclosure, I love medical treatments. I'm a bit like that. So they had a couple of health stands, and you could go and have your blood pressure taken.
Oh, you had fun there.
And Martin was egging me on, and I was like, I could look Pacifica. I could get away with it. But anyway, the second time round the loop, the woman said, oh yeah, just come. So I went, and they didn't take my blood pressure, but they did my heart monitoring with this newfangled thingy. This is not even important to the story, but it was this newfangled thingy where you just put your 2 fingers on it, and it tracks your heart rate, but it also can spot heart murmurs and things.
Wow.
That you wouldn't necessarily not notice with an stethoscope. So it's a little machine, and then she opens the app and puts it next to the machine. Anyway, it was very exciting. That's not even important. What's important is that then Martin had his done, and when he was having his done, a girl came up to me from behind the table, and she was like, I really like your poncho. I was like, it's not a poncho, it's a shawl.
But it is beautiful.
And then she was like, oh, I really like his jumper. It was like, no, I knitted it too. Shallow.
Oh.
So we had a good bonding session over. She was a crocheter. So
Excellent.
So yeah, go to the Pacifica Festival. Someone might compliment you on your clothes. Martin
brilliant.
had cake. I didn't have cake. So it was really nice. Lots of music and lots of different types of food. I was kind of cold, but yeah, it's quite nice. So that was today.
Yeah.
What did you do today, Victoria, that was exciting?
Well, today I went and was a visitor at the Dunedin Embroiderers Guild, and it was fantastic. There was lots of lovely ladies doing amazing projects. Everyone was very friendly.
Sorry to interrupt you. Were there any men?
No, not a one. Oh, someone had bought their early teenage son, I think. I don't think he was stitching.
Oh, okay.
He was just in his headphones, but I could be wrong.
Okay. But, yeah, okay.
I just saw it briefly.
Great.
Some amazing finished projects. People were lovely. They announced the new Otipoti Dunedin classes for next year. I have signed up for 2.
And they happen in Dunedin, don't they?
Yes, yeah. It's the Otipoti Dunedin Embroidery School, I believe. And they do.
As opposed to the Wanaka one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So you don't have to pay for accommodation.
Exactly, exactly. And they've got some amazing classes this year. I was quite torn about which ones I wanted to do. So it's run over 2 weekends, one in March and one in, I want to say September, August, September. and each weekend, so it's 2 weekends, but each weekend has 3 different classes. So obviously you can only go to one class.
So you've already signed up?
Yeah, I've
so,
signed
so
up.
Tell us what you're doing, just in case somebody else signs up to the same class, they can go and say hello to you.
Oh no, because I want to have my place confirmed before I do that.
Oh.
Plus I can't remember, I didn't write the details down.
You're not invited then.
Yeah, let me get my place and then I'll tell you what I'm doing.
I don't understand. When you say, obviously you can't do more than 2,
Yep.
in my head, this is a mathematical statement and I just don't understand.
No, you can only, okay, so 3 classes on the same weekend.
Ah.
So 2 weekends a year,
Okay, now
6
I understand.
classes, but there's 3 classes going on the same weekend, so
Okay.
you can only physically be at one.
This is literally the 3rd time Victoria's made that
I have
statement. So the
probably
first
not-
2 times I was just like, that sounds like maths, and I just shut down. And I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
now I get it.
I'll tell you next time what I've signed up for. And oh, it was lovely. So some of the people I knew from the other classes that I had done, and well, like 3 of them I knew from other things we'd done. Everyone was super lovely. There was amazing projects. They have an amazing library that once you're an official member, you have access to. So I will be becoming an official member. It was great.
So
It
I'm
was-
trying to find my gift so I can say thanks.
Oh yes. So
Because it's kind of semi-related.
my friend Amy, who's watching, hi Amy. See, I've claimed her as my friend now. Poor Amy, she won't talk to me again. Who I know from the Twisted Band sampler, was there, and she had gifts for both Catherine and I. So she gave me a ring for my
Bling.
floss, bling for my floss drops.
And I got 3 reels of Gutermann quilting thread, which is cotton. Such a lovely gift. Thank you so much, Amy. I love I love gifts that kind of exonerate me from guilt. Because I've been wanting to buy, this is like, I'm so ridiculous in my head. I don't know if I've told you about this. Or maybe I've told Donna he. Anyway, I've been wanting to buy different threads to play with, just for the joy of trying out a new thing. But they come in plastic reels and I just don't feel I can justify it. So I haven't. Is it Suki? No,
Yes,
Sulky.
Sulky comes in
Sulky. I've been wanting to buy Sulky. I mean, I've always wanted to buy Gutermann because they're a really good brand. But I just kind of feel like I just can't justify it. Like my brain won't let me. So now I don't have to because they were a gift. And look at the colours.
Your colours.
It's like my 50-year-old better self wears mustard all the time. I'm like, amazing. So I'm super excited. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
So that was great. I will be going again.
Yeah,
again.
she will be going again. And I'll be thinking about going again.
Yeah, I'll talk you into coming.
Well, no, what I want to do is I want to join the Waikawaiti Embroiderers Guild. So there's a fibre guild and there is an embroiderers guild. And it's literally up the road from my house on the same street. It's during work hours, so I would have to take a morning off or like catch up the time that, because it's like 2 hours. I really do want to join people in my community rather than in Dunedin. Because I want to, you know, I live in Waikawaiti now. But anyway, I will probably just talk about it and never go. Ta-da! Anyway, so you were excited and you liked it,
was
and
great.
you're going to join.
I had to put my big girl pants on. I was so nervous
Oh,
to go.
God, yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm an adult. What's the worst that's going to happen?
She didn't invite me, by the way. She did not invite me. He didn't even think of me. So
No.
sad.
I knew you'd say no.
But super brave of you.
I know. You can come with me next time.
Yeah.
It was great.
I think have I done the embroidery skill or the spinners and weavers? I've probably done the spinners and weavers because they're in Roslyn. But no, good for you.
It was great. The
Yes.
people were so lovely and the projects were amazing.
Yay for guilds.
Yeah. And the library was amazing. I'll be borrowing some stuff out of there.
Yeah, I mean that's even if you don't want to talk to people, it's a really good reason to join the guild.
That's great.
Really good resources. So yeah, maybe I need to be challenged. Can someone challenge me to join the guild in Waikawaiti? Someone say, yeah, Catherine, join.
Join. I'll tell you, but she'll ignore me.
Yeah, I'll ignore Victoria.
So what have you been up to in the last 2 and a bit weeks?
Well, I've been painting the house in Port to put it on the market again. So that's been the joy of my life. I just been working a lot. No extra hours. I don't do extra hours. But my job is sort of, I find it mentally taxing sometimes. Sort of coming up with like solutions for things or sort of strategizing. And the commute, it's half an hour each way, which is fabulous because hubby drives, because he's not a knitter. So
That's great.
but Christina's home for a little bit again. She needs a little bit more support from home. So she's home. So I'm kind of okay. So she's a bit of a tyrant. I've been calling her a tyrant, right? Because she's been watching films with us, but I'm not allowed to have the light on.
What?
I know.
How do you still? Do you have to get a headlight?
I'm not allowed.
Head torch.
I'm not allowed. Like, the point is that I don't make when I'm watching a film with her.
But then that's just time wasted.
I know.
Unless you're exhausted and you just...
Well, no, I don't do exhausted and nothing unless I've got COVID. So anyway, so we were watching, the three of us were watching a film, and I was like, can I put the light on? She was like, no. Which is fine, because normally I would listen. But then Martin and her started making fun of me, because Martin was more like, oh, don't be silly. If you want to put the light on, you put it on. And I was like, my baby doesn't want me to have the light on. And so then they both started making fun of me for being a wuss. So I was like, fine, I'll put the light on. So I did manage to put the light on for half an hour. But yeah, that takes away from the making time. Oh yeah, exciting thing I don't know if I told you about this.
Ooh.
I went to Stitch Kitchen. Because Christina's living with us at the moment, and her sleep out's fantastic. She now has a deck outside. She's making it all pretty. She wants a quilted curtain because the sun is strong, and the car lights, where it's located, you can get car lights all beaming at her. So she decided that she wanted blue and green as a theme. So I went to Stitch Kitchen to get secondhand fabrics. So I got some of those. And honestly, you know how lame. By the time I tidied them, I was too tired to do anything. But I've now got fabrics. I forgot to bring you your fabrics. I bought you those fabrics.
Oh, you did too.
Forgot.
Matter, I'll see you again.
Yes, so I only had time, because Martin went to Mitre 10 to get rollers for the house. And I was like, I'll go to Stitch Kitchen to buy fabric. So I looked for fabric for Christina. And then in passing, I said to the lady, who's super friendly, I like to make scrappy quilts. I don't buy new stuff. Like new fabric I don't buy. So it's got to be, and I like scrappy. So she was like, oh, we've got these 2 boxes of scrappy leftover quilt fabric. I was like, so of course.
Did you go through the box or did you just buy the boxes?
No, you buy things by the bag. So you just fill a bag. So I filled the bag, and oh, they were so lovely.
Excellent.
But now I have to wash them and iron them. So anyway, yeah, that was good fun. Go to Stitch Kitchen if you're in Dunedin. Or I think there's something similar in Wellington. Anyway, most big towns now have stuff like that. It was good fun. And I spent the princely sum of $12
Wow.
on a bag of leftover kind of curtain fabric and mixed fabric, and a bag of quilted fabric, like sizable amount, and some tapestry needles in a like brand new, never used, in a case for $12.
Wow, that's excellent.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, and I found some fabric that I think Victoria might like for her chairs.
Yeah, so I have a set of 6 old antique chairs that are a bit uncomfortable, and all my chairs are uncomfortable.
They are.
But they need a little bit of love. Yeah, they need a bit of love.
I'm not thinking that. Is it just 3 chairs you have, or do you have 4?
6.
Yeah, there might not be enough for 6, and I think you do matchy-matchy.
I don't mind. I can do non-matchy-matchy for that.
Okay, anyway, I'll bring them next time. I forgot.
Yeah.
Which is tragic, because there's very little space in the house to be storing things, so I should have brought it. But anyway, so that was me, really.
Excellent.
Just doing work, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
What about you? Anything else?
So I had a huge project that is finished up now. Finished it on Friday, so that's fantastic. I get to have my whole 3-day weekend off, which is fantastic. But I had a class I took 2 days annual leave last week for a class, which I'll tell you about when I show the piece. It was an amazing class, right. And the teacher is wonderful, and she watches us. Hello, Marie.
Oh yes, that's right. Woo woo. I was really jealous afterwards.
Yeah.
I do this, like, with hindsight, I wish I'd done it.
It was an amazing class, and she's a fabulous, talented lady.
And she said a funny thing to you in class, that there was going to be a shortage of gold materials.
Oh no, just because of the Queen's death, they have to change all of the
ER will become CR.
3. because he's King Charles III.
No, because she's Elizabeth. Oh yeah, they might put the 3. That's right.
Anyway, could be.
Yeah.
So obviously they have to remove presumably the panels of clothing and redo it. So
I'm not sure if they're removing them or those get kept as like museum pieces. I don't know.
for like they must have thousands of uniforms. Surely they're not just remaking new for everybody.
That's true.
Anyway, so there's expected to be a shortage of goldwork supplies because obviously it's all going to get. There's only very few people that produce it, and imagine predominantly it's going to get filtered through to them, unless of course they've got a stockpile.
There's a big company in England that produces it, but I've forgotten their name now.
Yeah.
But anyway, also the coronation is probably going to be next year, and that will involve
Exactly,
a
a lot of gold
bling.
Oh yeah, I've been watching a lot of royal stuff this last week.
Oh, I watched the funeral.
Yeah.
It's an interesting time in history. Yeah, I've always been listening to all the negative side of things, and I'm so hopeful that Charles will make significant changes to things, because I do think he's done some really good things historically. I mean, he works within the framework of the monarchy.
Yeah.
But I am hoping that he will make some significant changes. But yeah, I only watched the procession, but I wasn't bothered about trying to find the live one. I just watched it.
Oh no, I watched it on Monday until I watched the service at Windsor, which is the first one they had. Was it at Windsor or Westminster? Westminster Abbey, that makes
St.
sense.
Paul. No, St. Paul.
Whatever. I watched the first one, and then I watched the procession afterwards until they put the casket into the car. And then the next day I went back and watched the second service. Beautiful music. Oh, the music was amazing. The choirs did a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do better.
It was alright. No, I'm not thinking that. It was just, yeah. What was I impressed by?
I felt really bad for the soldiers or the guards or whatever who were doing all this, marching from one to another with these immaculate shiny shoes, and they had to walk through horse shit because the horses just shat everywhere.
Oh, I didn't notice that bit. I did skip some of those bits, but my heart went out to the young men carrying the coffin because they were young. They were like new recruits.
Yeah, and it must have been so heavy because it's lead lined. So, because she's been on display for better preserves the body, and it will hopefully conceal.
No, it doesn't preserve the body.
Well,
it contains the body.
Contains
That's
the
different.
body. Yeah.
Maybe that's a royalty thing because we don't do lead lining in coffins.
I think it does
as
slow.
a thing.
No, it does slow the.
You wanted to say decomposition.
That's the word I was wanting to say.
No, I presume she's been.
She'll be embalmed, but you're still
Embalmed.
decomposed.
You're just chemicals at that point if you're being embalmed.
Yeah.
Anyway, more importantly, I mean royalty and all, Hilary Mantel just died, which is a bit sad. 70, that's really young for a person these days. She had a stroke. I haven't read any of her novels. I did try and listen to an audiobook last year, but I couldn't take the narrator, which I think was her, but I just couldn't take it. I think headphones are just tough because they accentuate certain things. But my daughter loves like Wolf Hall and that sort of thing. So quite sad. I'll be binging some of that content online.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we're 20 minutes in. Should we do some show?
Yes. Although, as far as I'm concerned, it'll finish at 25 past because I've done very little. But you've got stuff to talk about. So
shall I go
how
first
about you
then?
start? We have no FOs.
No FOs. No FFOs. No FFOs, I don't even know what they are. Okay, so I have been doing... It just felt right watching the funeral if I work on something which I associate with Jane Austen, who of course I associate with England. So I worked on my Plum Street sampler.
Nice.
Because I just all felt very connected. And I made some good progress. So I have done the stripes under the window, the door, and the first window frame on the ground floor. It's coming together nicely. I wish I'd done it on a small count.
I think they are... It's not a window frame.
Shutters.
Shutters, that's the word.
Yeah, I didn't know what they were.
Yeah. It's very cute.
Coming together. I really like this one. It's super cute. And also, I feel I haven't done any finishes for ages. So I was like, let's work on a smaller one and have a finish before the end of the year.
I wonder if your count is...
It's 32 count, I think.
Oh, because it feels like it's bigger than mine.
Yeah, yours is a 36.
Yeah, I think mine might have been a 36. She still has a massive tankard.
She does have a massive, massive cup of coffee.
Yeah. Very beautiful.
It's beautiful.
I do love how they like not messing around with the design.
It was really weird. I was doing the door and I'm like, I'm sure the door is pink. Why is it showing this grey colour? I was like, no, Catherine did her door pink.
This pink's a good colour.
Yeah.
What have I got? I've only got 2 cross-stitch things to show you. I'll show you the first one that I'm totally enamoured with.
It's so cute.
So, remember when I bought this book, which is called Ultimate Sampler Motifs Source Book by Brenda Keyes, who's fantastic.
So, just a side note, Brenda Keyes is my Red House sampler lady. That's her design too.
Oh, okay, cool. She's published more than one of these books. But one of them was quite a few years ago. But anyway, I bought this and I was, my thing about, I don't want to be someone that shops and doesn't do anything with it. So I'm like, what am I going to use it for? So one of the things I was going to use it for was to make little motifs for buttons. And I did.
I can't wait to see the buttons.
Yeah, so I have a coat. I have a grey coat that I bought when Sophia was like 6 months old. So it's like 21-year-old coat. And when I came out of the fog of bringing up the babies, I was like, why do I have a grey coat? Like, that is very unlike me. So I changed the buttons. They used to be sort of black buttons, plastic ones. I changed them all to different colours. And I did a complete terrible job. I just like covered a button and then sewed it together. So it's not like a proper covered button. Anyway. They're kind of falling off now. So I thought, right, okay, I'm going to do cute little buttons with these. So in the book, I mean, most people have bought this, but most people at Cross Stitch have bought this book. You have a list of sort of the index, and it tells you like generally what you can find where. But I basically just went through the book and I was like, oh, do I want a little dog? Oh yeah, there's a little dog. And they had to be quite small. But the first thing I came across was this fox. I was like, oh, the fox. And of course, I didn't want to count. So I was going to do one motif and then eyeball to see if the buttons would work. And it was very obvious that the button would be too enormous for this fox. So then I was just looking for little things. So I've got a wee bird, an anchor, a little doodah, a heart, a key, a fruit of some sort, or it could be a musical note, and scissors. So this is just a random red that was given to me secondhand in a little bundle of kind of Christmas themed colours. But the colour, the red was it's a good red. It's a dark one, so it's kind of going more towards burgundy than, I also had different reds that were kind of tomatoey, bit more tomatoey. This is deeper, so I liked it. But, for example, the key, no, maybe the key was enough. The anchor, I actually modified to make it smaller. So there's 4 stitches around this little whole section, but in the pattern there were 8. Okay. So I just made little changes, and the scissors were much bigger, but I just modified it to make it a little bit smaller. And this little fruit had basically a mirror image on this side, but that would make it too big. So anyway, and also, can we just admire the most adorable little house?
So cute.
So I've got some really big, do I have them out?
You had them out before.
I did have them out. So I've got, do I have them out properly? No, of course not. So I've got this little pack for the little buttons for the coat. And somewhere in this pile of stuff, I've got really big buttons, and that will cover them, but I'll use them as a brooch. So I'll sew them permanently onto like the lapel of something. But aren't they adorable? This is called Antique White, which is a 46 count beige linen fabric. Oh, but it looks like it's got the orange. So that's
Zygarde.
Zygarde.
Antique white. I'm sure lots of fabric is called antique white,
yeah,
but there is
right.
an antique white in Zygarde.
Yeah. So be encouraged to do something like this.
It's so cute.
It is so cute. I just love the house. Oh my god.
It's so cute.
So adorable. Yeah, so that's one thing that I started and finished last night because I was having flosstube guilt.
You hadn't done any tears some up a bit earlier.
I haven't done any cross stitching for about 3.5 weeks. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, you better get onto it. Snap, snap.
Yeah.
Done?
Yeah.
So I have again been working on my stitch along class, which is the Northern Expressions Needlework Twisted Band Sampler. So this is what I worked on today at the Embroiderers Guild, and people were suitably impressed.
I do have to say,
because I must admit, I went in and I felt like I'm such a baby, I can't do any of this. People are amazing.
Oh, well, I have to say, I am amused because you are a terrible Instagrammer.
I am a terrible
But
Instagrammer.
I follow Amy,
Yep.
who's also doing it. So actually,
You see
because
more-
of Amy, I know where you're at. I was like, oh, this must be the one that Victoria's working
Yeah,
on.
so I can't remember where I was at last time, but I finished the...
You talked about that colour, so the green is
Oh yes, I finished the whole sort of, it looks like holly leaves to me. I don't know, that one there. But then this big green stripy thing, that's new. And if you go closer, this is the only bit that's done with 2 strands of threads.
Oh, it's really dense.
It is really dense, and it's not focusing so well. But that was nice, that was a lovely wee thing to stitch today because it
can I
was a
have a
bit
look?
thoughtless. Or you didn't have to concentrate too hard.
Mindless.
But Amy was telling me that the next one's a pain in the bum.
I think you've had a few of those.
Yeah. I love this one except for the stitches that I hate.
Apart from the making, I'm loving it.
It's gorgeous.
Very nice, very nice. I like it. Yeah, it's good, good. I really like these geometric ones, like that one and that one and that one.
I think if I was doing it again, this is on a 40 count, I would do it on probably a 32.
You can
I think
see
you can
them
see
more.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not seeing the detail.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Close this off. All right, and the next thing I did, and this was again induced by Flosstubers Guild. I am working on this pattern, which I love, which is called And a Forest Grew by Rosewood Manor, but it's designed by Karen Kluber. So loads of, I thought it was all trees, but loads of animals in there. And it's got a verse that I ignored because I didn't want anything kind of religious. So you will be familiar with this. This is done on a 36 count Edinburgh.
You've done heaps. Look how much you've done.
Well,
That's impressive.
all I did since I last touched this was this morning, I did this tree, which actually has 3. Can you see the little colours?
Yes, it's so cute.
It makes me think of an orange tree, actually.
Yes, like one of those very manicured ones that you...
Yeah, almost like, oh, anyway, I've forgotten the word. But you know when you shape, topiary.
Topiary,
almost
that's
like
it.
topiary,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so that's my phrase by Pete Seeger about sustainability. Yeah, how to be green. But anyway, I do love it. So what I've decided this morning, because I was really enjoying it, but we had to leave to go to that festival, I'm just going to keep this out, and I'll probably do 10 motifs to try and catch up. Remember when I said I would do five or four,
yeah.
right?
And the middle
Oh,
one was
5 a
only
week.
1.
Yeah, the middle one was only 1. Ha ha. Anyway, super happy.
It's looking gorgeous.
Oh, I forgot to say, I think I found what do you call it? A backstrap loom teacher for Peru.
Oh, fantastic.
It was so adorable because there was a bit of toing and froing because I suspect she's an older woman, and the email address didn't work and the WhatsApp didn't work. So anyway, I had to involve the tourism office of the Peruvian tourism office again and say, oh, I'm not getting anywhere. Anyway, she responded. So I sent her this lovely long message saying, hi, I would like to organize some classes, and she responded, sure, let me know when you arrive. And so I was telling Martin about it, and the conclusion is I have become too non-Peruvian. Because can we just like lock it in? Can we just lock it in?
confirm some dates and
These dates and like let's have your address and like it was funny.
Yeah.
So but hopefully I have a backstrap loom teacher. Oh, and by the way, this is supposed to be a sal with Ella from Spectrum Stitcher. So the idea, I'll post it. I haven't been posting on Instagram. I'm calling it COVID fatigue still. I'm not really watching FlossTube or posting on Instagram. I'm just kind of tired. No, I'm not tired. I keep telling people I'm back to normal, but maybe I'm just painting my house. It's just too much.
Yeah, you're doing a lot.
I am doing a lot, but I think it's a personality thing. There's always a reason why I'm doing too much. But anyway, it's a SAL and it's called With What You Have SAL. So if you want to pick a project and you want to join us, the hashtag is with what you have sell. And the idea is that you don't go out to buy fabric or floss, that you just use what you have. It doesn't matter if you have to change the colors. So there you go. Yeah, Ella.
Excellent.
Ta-da!
So this isn't cross stitch, but it'll come up for this one.
Yeah.
This is my Die Fisher class that I'm doing.
It doesn't have any cross stitch.
Oh, I think it must have some in there somewhere.
Oh.
I don't even remember what this is anymore. I do this every time. The English Garden Band Sampler. So this is the tutorial that starts, I think, in October. And we're working on this year, these 3 bands. And there's prep work to do. I have done the required prep work for this one. There is some extra one that you can do that I'll do once I've got all of it done. I have started this one, and I was talking to some ladies this morning who have also signed up for this class. Apparently this one is really, really confusing, or at least you've really got to use your brain power, so I'm not looking forward to that.
I don't think you would worry, because actually you have a draftsperson brain. You can see things in a different way to other people.
True. That is very reassuring. Thank you.
No, I think that's true, because you can do diagonals and you think nothing of it. So I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. So anyway, I've done some more prep for this.
How much prep is there?
It's just sort of basic outlines. So I finished my acorn and curly thing line, and I have started my strawberry. There's strawberries and flowers coming off there. It's just the stem work we have to do.
So for the workshops, you're not going to do any of the frames. The frames have to come pre-made by you.
Pretty much. Yeah. Well, there's just like some foundation stuff, which is, it's just not double back stitch. What's it called? Double running stitch.
Like, I'm not in the class.
Oh, geez, how can you not know these things,
Sorry,
Katrin?
you 2 hands.
Oh, look, what is it?
While she's looking things up.
Double running stitch. So it's pretty, like, mine's not perfect at all, but it's not anything overly complicated, so it would just be not time wasted in the class, but it's the sort of thing that you can do quite easily at home and work on the harder stuff in class.
So just to be, like, because obviously you probably won't know, but if that was in black, would that be counted as black work?
I don't know.
Or is it too curly, too rounded for black work? Does anyone have experience of black work? Because I want to get into it. Would this be black work? I want to do black work because I've discovered that it's called antique stitch in Spanish, and I love that. So I want to do it.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to that class.
It's very pretty.
It's October, so I've got to get the foundation stuff finished, and then I've got to lace it onto a timber frame, and I've never done that before, so...
Can I have a look at the...
So, I reckon I can probably show that. So that is the strawberry and flower stem that you could see, the bit that I've worked on.
It is really, it's really interesting how it comes across, because you only use one strand. It looks almost like some sort of Arabic or Farsi or something writing, doesn't it?
So this is the bit.
Yeah, and that definitely looks like black work, doesn't it?
I reckon so. There must only be so many stitches you can do.
Nice.
Excellent. They're all variations of the...
Well, I don't have any more embroidery, so you do your next embroidery thing.
And that's, well, it's
Were you not going to show that?
Yeah. But it's not really embroidery, so...
It is. How is it not embroidery?
Oh, well, it's not... I don't know.
It's not
cross
cross
stitch.
stitch.
It's not cross stitch is what I meant.
So we'll go from cross stitch and then we move to embroidery, and then we can do my other stuff that's neither of those things.
So last week, I think, no, week before, I can't remember. At some stage, I did a two-day class by Marie Burnett, who I already said. She was amazing. I took annual leave for this class, and it was worth it. I did the Rare Flowers class. She's done this beautiful instructional booklet so I can finish it at home. I told her that I would have it finished by our next floss tube. I do not have it finished. I have not touched it. I had good intentions, but Marie did say I'm following the rules that you need to do it in daylight, and I've just haven't been at home in daylight. But I'll show you what I did do.
Why do you need to do it in daylight?
Just, I don't know. I wasn't listening to all the instructions. I think just because the natural light bounces off better to place things as opposed to the artificial. I don't know. I'm making up bullshit. I'm making up. Yeah.
It's a good rule though.
Here
Shall
it
we
goes.
just quit work?
We'll just quit work and do stitching. So obviously that felt is just felt padding.
But that will be covered, won't it?
That will be covered with similar to what's going on here. So you've only done half of that. That's just the padding for underneath this leaf. There's a big bit of gold
And
thread.
this bit here is a form of couching, isn't it?
Pass, I don't know.
Okay.
But it's so much fun. I had such a blast. I hope Marie comes back and does more classes in Dunedin because I will definitely sign up.
Did you see the comment from Mel, Patchy Pony? She was like, you're going to love gold work.
I do love gold work.
She did a little workshop, I think, and she loved it.
It's so cool. It's definitely going to be one of my regular ones. Stitch Witches are looking at getting some supplies on. So I don't think there's any, or at least not that many, people that you can buy supplies off in New Zealand. So it'll be great. And I did this that's couching, that leaf is couched down. Sorry, there's lots of threads and things still floating around. It was so much fun. Like I said, she was so cool. She collects Lego, so it was awesome. She had little Star Wars figures hanging off her scissors.
Cute.
It was awesome.
This looks like calico.
It's calico, it's silk backed with calico.
Oh, interesting.
Because with silk you'll just pull it, I don't know.
It just needs the weight.
Yeah.
To stabilise it, I suppose.
I love it. I'm going to be working on it this weekend. I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be doing more Die Fisher prep.
Okay, so tell me about the paper.
So the idea is that you put a piece of tissue paper between your hoop and your fabric, and you just make a little opening to do your stitching so that the edges of your fabric don't get all mucky. Because of course you can't wash this. I did not follow instructions because I wasn't listening. I was too excited and pulled it all off. So probably I will have to keep this in a round frame when I frame it, because it'll be mucky fabric.
Oh, so the idea was that you wouldn't even tear like this. There would be paper here.
Yeah, like you should have bits of paper here that you sort of fold back to
okay.
expose it. I didn't listen.
Did you wash your hands between things?
Oh yeah, but I'm really mucky anyway, so. But it's so cool. I love it.
Nice.
And the people were lovely.
I just love the
Came in
theory
a
of going to
gorgeous
classes.
wee kit. Like she made up these wee bags with a photo of what we were doing on it, and it came with all the stuff. It was so cool. And if you want to follow her on Instagram, because she does do classes, she is Bound Embroidery.
I think I follow her.
And
now,
I would
don't
highly recommend. She's got this, and she's got a Huia feather class that she's doing at the moment.
I wanted to do the Huia feather.
It was amazing. I would have signed up for that too, except it just sold out.
Where is my phone?
I don't know. We're not filming on it, are we?
No, we're filming on yours.
Oh, then I don't know.
I really wanted to do that Huia leaf. Huia feather. I mean, I've got a thing for feathers. It's a bit of a thing.
It's beautiful, and it's one of those things that it looks better in real life. I think a lot of crafts, because
Instagram.
I just think they in real life they always look way better. Even they look amazing in photos, but in real life they're just wow.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've lost my phone. What's wrong with me?
Well, when we finish filming, I'll call you. And we'll
Oh no, here it is. Just want to say, I also found the buttons I'm going to use.
These are your big ones.
These are my massive ones. Second hand from Stitch Witches, which is
Excellent.
grand.
Stitch Kitchen.
Oh, sorry, Stitch Kitchen. Second hand from Stitch Kitchen. So you're a patroness of Stitch Witches. That's where a good proportion of Victoria's wages go.
Yes, yes.
And I go to Stitch Kitchen, where a tiny proportion of my wages go.
I stuffed up this week at Stitch Witches. Well, I didn't stuff up, but I did. I thought that this week was not mortgage week, so I spent money. Turns out this week was mortgage week, and I just stuffed up. That's all right. I bought a lovely book, which I'll show you later.
Oh well. What was the name of the...
Bound Embroidery.
I want to show them the Huia.
Ah. Right, you had it at the top.
Okay, so the Huia feather.
There it is, there it is.
Which one?
Right under your thumb.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't quite got to there.
They're amazing.
And they got... So Huia is a New Zealand bird that became extinct.
And they find that a lot of their feathers are in the traditional antique Maori cloaks and things, aren't they?
I don't know.
Or do I
don't
have that
know.
wrong? I might have that
Perhaps.
take your
They use a range of feathers.
Yes.
And you know, in the past they would have used kiwi feathers as well in that.
Yeah.
So that's her account. bound embroidery. But yeah, the Hoya thing was just like, the Hoya thing was like what made me think, I want to do a workshop.
It was so
but it
cool.
was
You
sold
should come
out.
and do a workshop.
No, but it's sold out.
It was sold out. Hopefully she'll come and do it again.
I'm just not very good at workshops.
Oh, that was,
I forgot to talk about my
your painting
my
one.
drawing one, so I'll talk about it after.
Yeah, so that has been my creative juices for the last week or so, 2 weeks so.
Yeah, and now you're gonna have do you have nothing coming up, yeah, apart from your usual Tuesday?
Nothing coming up apart from my usual Tuesday and the Die Fisher one, which starts October, but we'll film before then.
October. Oh my God, you're all go, Victoria.
Oh, God, I can't believe I'm saying October when it's like a couple of weeks away. Shivers, I really better get on to that.
Okay, so we finished with embroidery?
We have.
Okay, so I will talk about knitting that I've been doing. So I have a half an hour commute there and back, so I find it uncomfortable to sit in the car and do nothing. So I've been just grabbing some wool and making fingerless mittens. These are handy for in between seasons as well, or if you're a hot person, you don't want to get too overheated. So my mittens were helpful when it was very cold, but now I'm like, oh, I could do with some fingerless gloves. So I haven't necessarily made him thinking of me. I think I'm going to give these to a colleague who has very cold hands. And I also made these. I was going to make these for my sister, but I actually don't think these are her colors. I think she's more of a blues and purple sort of person. So I'm going to keep these. I've already worn them. And I'm going to make a pair for her because I have a daily commute. And I wasn't going to show these, but I am going to because she won't mind. So these are going to a friend of the podcast, a friend of the flosstube. They're going to Europe. So Margarita will be getting these at some point. And I made them stretchy, so with a rib, because I'm not exactly sure. She gave me the measurements for her hand, but I'm not exactly sure how it will fit and stuff. So these should be comfortable. Whether her hands are a little bit bigger than mine or a little bit smaller, it should work.
Beautiful. They're amazing.
Yeah, so just good fun. And you use less than one ball of wool. These used a bit more because of the rib. The rib takes more. But one ball of 50 grams of 8-ply, which is double knit. I had some left over.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that was good fun. And then I have got the quilt top that I'm almost finished with, but it's too much of a faff to show you. I'm going to wait until it's finished and then I'm going to do a little thing separately. But I did go to... I haven't shown these, have I?
No, you haven't.
Okay.
So last time we did a tube, you had just bought your little table and you were heading off to your classes.
Oh, okay, so I went to my day-long watercolor workshop and that was really great. Took a little bit for me to get used to this. I'm a bam, bam, bam sort of person, and to kind of have to put the brakes on because the teacher has a slower method. I did wonder whether like my personality was not like
not
a good fit,
to...
not a good fit with watercolor, but you will see. Because I kind of think like, oh, let's start. Why are we saying hello still? It's been 20 minutes. Anyway, it was really great. I learned a lot. Even silly things like you watch on YouTube that you have to tape your paper to the board. And I was nervous of doing that, but it turns out you literally just tape
your paper. Yeah.
So I've learned how to do that. But I did do 3 things. I'll show you in order of likes. So we did a landscape.
Oh, that's really pretty.
So that was 6 hours. Things I love about it. I love the blue sky and the clouds. Unfortunately, he was trying to teach us how to make like a storm. Everybody's was ugly, I have to say. Like nobody. His original that we were copying was quite beautiful, but even the one that he did in class was just, no, it was gross. All of us ended up looking kind of like this, and I don't like it. I was so disappointed because I love my blue sky, and literally that's a wash of blue, making a little bit darker something, and then you remove the color with toilet paper. It was amazing. So I learned that, so I was really happy. And then about mirror, what do you call that? Like
reflection.
A reflection, yeah.
It's beautiful.
And then the little bird. So
I love your little boat. I'm assuming it's a boat.
No, it's not a boat. It's I wasn't sure what it was supposed to be. Some people's look like a cottage on a rock, and some people's just look like a rock. I just did a rock with some trees.
It's beautiful.
So there are elements of this that I really like. So super pleased. I am hoping to incorporate drawing and painting as a weekly activity. And then we learned how to make little figures of people. So when I showed people, they all loved these.
I think so. I think they're gorgeous.
Yeah, but they're just like, it's like kitty painting.
I haven't seen
like
it. It's effective.
Little tricks of like a child could do this. So that was great for all of us who hadn't done any. So that was one side, and I was being cheap with the paper, so I did 2. And if I signed it, it's because I liked it. That was my rule.
I like all of them.
And what I'm going to do is in my living area, I'm going to have a clothes hanger, you know, the ones for trousers, and I'm just going to hang them there. And as I make more, they'll just go in front.
Nice.
Because I can't have 300 things in my house. No, there's no point.
I really like those. You should put them in a frame.
Yeah. No,
Or hang them from a peg.
Yeah, yeah. My absolute favourite was this, which was supposed to be an exercise on being very loose and very quick and very relaxed about drawing and painting. So we drew the cockerel first. So he had a picture that he'd done like this. So we drew it, and then we were supposed to be very haphazard with colour and just kind of slop it on. And I just love the energy of that. I didn't quite get the look that he had, but I just loved it. I just love the gestures of the claws. And
it's gorgeous. Rodney the
loved
rooster. I don't know, is it Rodney?
Oh.
Have you named your rooster?
Oh no, I haven't named my rooster.
How can you not have named your
Do
rooster?
I look like someone that names his...
Well, I've named it. It's a Rodney.
No! No, if I'm going to name my rooster, it's going to have a beautiful Spanish name like...
Rodney.
Tobias. Okay. Things like... So I signed it, and I blimming signed it 2020. No, in fact, no, I signed it apostrophe 20, and he was like... Oh, interesting. You do realise it's 2022 now. So I had to make it longer. I had to change it to 2022. Drat. But then, I can do relaxing when I'm painting. I was like, rah, rah, rah. And then we used a toothbrush to kind of speckle it. So I really like that. But some of the things that I loved about the class was that I think there were 7 people in the class. Everybody's was so different.
Even though you're doing the same thing,
we're copying the same image. We're all adults, so I can see how like children would draw differently to adults. We're all adults between the ages of probably 35 and 75. But anyway, I really liked it. And then he used what do you call those black pens here? Like a black felt tip. What do you call it? A Sharpie.
Sharpie?
Yeah, so he used a Sharpie to go over there, and I didn't think that was pure enough. So I just used black. I made up a black. Because we only used primary colours, so we had 3 colours to work
Oh wow,
with.
you got all of that out of 3 colours?
Yeah.
I love this goldy tone you've got.
It's like a mustardy. That's supposed to be like the poo area that you get with chickens. Anyway, I really love this one, and I do want to display it.
He's beautiful.
So he's going to be kind of at the front. I do love it.
Good old Rodney.
So that was I was thinking that you meant the teacher, because he might be called Rod. I can't remember.
Oh no, I'm talking the Rodney the rooster.
No, we're not calling this rooster Rodney. Not if you want me to talk to you. So that was that, and then last Sunday I had my first Botanical Illustration and watercolor class, which turned out to be all theory based on Sunday, which was great because I hadn't bought my materials because I've been too busy. And it was so fascinating. It was all about the history and like different, talking about the famous people in the history of botanical illustration, and then looking at examples. And so it was kind of like the best combination of like pretty drawing and gardening. Loved it.
Excellent.
I had a really good time. But now I've got all my materials, and our next session is tomorrow, and we'll start drawing tomorrow. So that'll be really interesting.
Excellent.
Yeah. So it turns out I will fork out money for drawing and painting, but not for embroidery classes.
We'll see. I'll get you into an embroidery class.
But I think they all talk to each other.
They do.
Because
It's
I
all
just
like-
think, oh gosh, if I did botanical drawings, I can just see it in satin stitch now.
Yeah.
It'd be so pretty.
Yeah.
So, yeah, one day I will work part-time again, and then I'll have time to think about doing other things. I just, there's only so much time in the day. So I think that was it. Well, let me show you. Look what I scored as part of my haul of I just called it haul, isn't that gross? My craft pantry acquisitions. There's this linen, black linen, so I'm going to use this for my quilt.
Yeah.
For the back of the quilt.
Yeah.
There's tons of it, and then also white linen. Because I think they do classes in Stitch Kitchen where you learn to make something. So when people have leftovers, they just leave them behind. And then people like me come along and snag them.
Excellent.
Yeah, there's a lot of ironing in my life over the next 2 or 3 days. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's just really interesting how we're living now, because it makes you because we have photovoltaic panels, we're not connected to the grid, and it makes you very mindful of your energy consumption. And so
there's no just leaving the iron on for the afternoon while you're...
No, and so, you know, if the car is charging, because we have an EV, if the car is charging, nothing else is on in the house. And if it's sunny, it doesn't really matter. I can be charging the car and cooking. The cooking draws a lot of energy. But if I want to boil the kettle, which takes about a minute and a half, I switch off the car, boil the kettle, and then switch the car back on. And then I didn't realize about the ironing, and Martin was like, we were just chatting, and I just got the ironing. My house is a mess. My ironing was in the middle of everything with my pile of stuff. And I started ironing, and Martin said, that uses up a lot of energy. And so then I thought, wouldn't it be cute to buy an old-fashioned iron?
I was just about to say you're going to buy a cast iron to put on top of your stove.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
I was literally just thinking, we're going to need a cast iron.
Yes.
And then when you're going to need a wee stand for it, it's going to be great.
I do have a stand already for my... I've got a...
You've got yeah.
What do you call it?
Kettle?
No. The stand is called something.
Oh, I don't know what the stand is.
A trivet. I've already got a trivet.
Excellent.
So anyway, I was thinking, have you ever seen those tiny little embroidery irons, the old-fashioned ones? They're about this size. They're shaped like a Monopoly iron, but it's tiny for your little embroidered bits.
Oh.
So cute. So anyway, it's on my list to buy myself, but it's got to be in good condition because I will be.
You'll be using it, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to.
Because I already have my Singer treadle machine, which I intend to use. My studio is going to be connected with a caravan plug, but I only had it connected to electricity just in case. I have no intention to use electricity yet.
Just for lights, if you...
Well, no, because it's in the sunniest spot, really. But also, I'm only going to use that in the day.
Yeah.
Saturdays, Sundays, maybe when I work part-time. So there's no need now, but I was thinking just future-proof it, just in case.
Yep.
So, yeah, very exciting.
Excellent.
But yeah. Life feels exciting at the moment. I do have lots of possibilities, even if I have zero time.
Excellent. Yeah, and I can feel your creative juices are coming back.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Martin, he was laughing at me. Because by my bed, we call it the shanty town. It really is. It's just so bad. Okay, comment below. Because your whole house can be a
My
mess
whole
and
house is a
nobody
shanty
tells
town.
you.
Yeah.
Nobody tells you. And you do embroider in bed. Mm-hmm. So I presume your bed's a bit of a mess?
Yep, so I have a queen size bed. Half of it is always covered in a project.
Yeah. See, I share a bed, so I have to put my things on the floor, and that's what we call the shanty town. I actually don't know if that's politically incorrect term to use now. Anyway. And Martin kind of did that very long, drawn-out sigh the other day. And he was like, I wonder if when you do have a studio, it will be tidy in the house.
No.
But I suspect not.
No, because really the studio is just wonderful, beautiful storage.
Kinda. Although I do envisage that you and Claire will come and we'll sit on the veranda and we will make.
I do envision that too.
Yeah, I'm excited about that possibility. Yeah. So, yay. But we'll see. I mean, it's a mess. It's like my dining area is just a pile of fabrics. Yay.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're now going to do stash acquisitions.
Excellent.
Because I've shown you my enhancement-ness.
Excellent.
Go on, so I think it's just you.
Just me? So, the first one is actually a bit of stitchy kindness. So, this book here was given to me by a woman called Karen who has been in most of the classes that I've done. She said she had 2 copies of it and thought I would like it. So, it's a great wee book. I'm sure I can show some of it without... You know, it's just how to with so it's great wee books. That was very kind of her, so I'm very pleased to be
I am tempted to say, Victoria, that A to Z of is a series, which is hilarious to say out loud because she loves collecting complete sets.
well, no, I don't love it. It's just you can't just have one of a set, people. If it's a set, you need them all.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, look, it is. It is.
She didn't know. Now she does.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful.
So you can now buy A to Z of embroidery stitches, embroidery motifs, stump work,
Oh, stump work I want to be doing.
crewel embroidery, white work, needlepoint, thread painting. See, thread painting is something that does interest me. Although I don't think it's my personality. Heirloom sewing, and then embroidery stitches too. So you've got 1 of 10.
Excellent. I'm sure I can
Wasn't
find
that-
the other 9.
Wasn't it kind?
Wasn't that
That
kind? She
lady.
had a double up in her library.
How does this happen? How do we double things up?
I think it had a different cover. The other 9 I get are gonna have to have the same cover, be the same size.
I follow someone on Instagram that Autumn something she's called, and she does a kind of bookstagram, and she was so excited and waiting for this book new release, and when it arrived she realized she'd already read it, but this was the new cover for the paperback. Anyway, she reread it because she had loved the other one. Ah.
We've been there.
See, this is one I fancied buying, but it didn't have peonies. This one is by the Royal Society of Needlework, and it was called Book of Embroidery. Really beautiful book, and I do love a magnolia, but I wanted to make a peony, and they didn't have it in the book, so didn't buy it. Yeah,
So that was very
that was
kind.
one. Yeah.
And then when I was at Stitch Witches doing the Twisted Band sampler on Tuesday night, I bought some stuff.
They're on to you there.
So on to me, she's like, Victoria, I was thinking of you when I saw this. I was like, yes, I will have to buy it. Even if it's mortgage week, and I don't think it's mortgage week. So this, I'm showing you the box because you're all going to want to buy one. This is a mini stash and store. And in it is this thing. And what you do is you can put your scissors in there, and you can put pins, and you can put your needles while you're stitching, and it all keeps it in one place, and you don't go searching for your scissors, and they don't get stuck to the back of your needle minders. I haven't got a pen on
Oh, you
hand.
already have your frog. So this is another frog.
Do I have a frog?
You have your scissor frog.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, but this is for like while you're working on projects as opposed to for displaying. So in the
Or when you take it to a workshop.
yeah, like so you've got like the pens in there if you're having to draw things on, pencils and your scissors and your metalwork scissors and all sorts. Look and see, I can even hold your ginger beer lid.
All
It's
as
great
well.
because these are all sort of really flexible, so it holds lots of things of different sizes.
Silicone-y.
Yeah, so this is a mini one. There's longer ones which are about that long.
Can I open the lid?
You can open it.
Ah, it's like just, okay.
Yeah.
Grand. Pretty colour.
Great. It comes in lots of different colours. This one is aqua. But what I did buy, which I had no idea I was
She
gonna
also
buy.
bought the other one. I don't know why she says what I did buy. She also did buy the other thing.
Oh yeah, I did buy this. I bought it all. I got into class and the tutor puts this in front of me and said, I thought you might like to have a look at this. And yes, I did. And I was going to
what
be
class
good.
was that?
This is the Twisted Band sampler one.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah,
not
yeah,
class,
yeah.
stitch along, whatever.
Gathering.
And I was like, oh, it's great, but I don't have any money. I can't afford it. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's so good. How many copies of this have you got? She said, oh, we bought 10 in, but about 5 or 6 of them have gone. I was like, oh, I don't want to miss out. So I bought it. So this is Japanese motif, stump work and gold work by Jane Nicholas. Is it Jane or Jan? Yep, Jane. And
There are some lovely things there.
it's amazing.
I'll show that page that you showed me with all the
Yeah,
9
I will.
projects or whatever.
So we all know what stump work and stuff is.
I might play with that with you.
Yep, you
Just
can
do
play.
one thing. Just do one little thing.
Look, so this is what's in the book. I'm sure I'm not going to get into trouble just for showing pictures. I'm sure it's online. I want to do all of them. But particularly these ones with the bugs and the flowers. Oh, they're just beautiful. But they're teeny tiny.
Are they?
They are. So that's Like that's the size of...
So 10 square meters? 10 square
10 square
centimeters.
meters. Yeah. So, here's the pattern for one. I don't want to show you the pattern because I feel that would be wrong. But yeah, they're all fitting in sort of a box that big.
Yeah, about 10 I reckon.
This is a great book. I'm thrilled with it. I've been looking at it. I've got a whole pile of things I need to order to do it. I particularly love this one here with the irises.
Where's Jane from?
Jane? I want to say she's Aussie.
Oh, maybe.
But I don't know.
Where was it printed? Let's have a look at that page. Kent. Tunbridge Wales, Kent. Tunbridge Wells.
Really wrong. Really wrong.
No, she could be Australian. She teaches in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the US.
Ah. She was awarded the Order of Australian Medal for her services.
You're right.
I was Aussie. I was right.
Yeah.
This is Jane. I'm sure you can see Jane. Hi, Jane.
Actually, New Zealand, well, maybe not so much New Zealand, but I mean for our size, New Zealand and Australia actually do have a strong tradition of teachers.
Yeah. Look at that. It's a lotus. And a praying mantis.
Oh, I don't like praying mantis.
Oh.
I've lived in a country that has praying mantis and they are a little bit like, ugh.
So, yep. So, because I've done 1 2-day gold work class and I've never ever attempted stump work before, I thought I could do this book.
Of course. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
The classes are to enable
Great.
you.
Big old thick book. That, I believe, is all my spendies.
That's right. Maybe you'll have to move to the country so you don't go to Stitch Witches so often.
No, they'd fold under without my patronage. I'm sure they wouldn't.
I think you of other 300 people that go weekly.
Yeah. No, it's a great wee shop.
I know, whenever I get funny, because Martin gets, I can get quite funny about how much I'm spending. And then I do all sorts of justifications.
We just think, oh, Victoria spends more than that.
No, I don't. But what Martin always says to me is like, for the number of hours you spend enjoying that, it's actually fine. It's I mean, I did have to say to him, because I paid $280 for my botanical drawing class. So that's 10 weeks. 10 weeks of 2 hours. Martin went to watch the rugby with Christina, and that was more money.
Mm. Yeah. Should have brushed my hair before we did this. Sorry.
Yeah. It looks fine. So
no,
yeah,
you don't need to justify your...
Well, I do think there's a difference between buying and not using. Yeah. But if you're using it, it brings so much joy, and you get hours with embroidery. It's not an instant craft. You get hours of enjoyment. Yeah. So it's all good. It's great that you live within driving distance of Stitch Witches. Yeah,
there's a hop, skip and a jump from my work too.
That's right. Actually, we are very lucky to have it in
We are incredibly lucky. Yeah. It has opened up a whole new... So doing flosstube obviously has opened up a whole new avenue for me. Mm. And then having Stitch Witches and doing classes through them and getting to know the people, and that's how I ended up at the Otago Embroiderers Guild today. Yeah. So it's been fantastic. I'm so pleased.
That's right. Because things just are harder. Like, we've always had Spotlight, which is like a big box store, but they don't offer classes. And if they did classes, I think way back, but they're very generic. Mm-hmm. Plus, having a specialist embroidery shop opens up an opportunity to do very specialist classes, which I think is great.
It's great. Yeah. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Yeah. Yeah. And I think we're finishing up. If you get the chance to do a Marie Vernon class, I'm probably butchering your last name there. She was fantastic. The work is amazing, and it was a great class. Yeah. Highly recommend. 5 stars.
And you were saying she lives in the North Island, but she travels.
Yeah.
So there might be an opportunity to do it near her. Yeah. There's also, I follow someone called Dixie Soul, who also does gold work. Lives in the North Island. Are they both RSN trained? I know Dixie Soul is.
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, they both have really good workshops. So at some point I will... You'll make me, won't you?
Yeah, I'll make you. Come along with one.
Eventually. I'm going on holiday. I have been going on about going on holiday to Peru. Like, I've got no money now. Until June next year. You can't have everything. So, you know, you spend where you think is most important. Yeah. So anyway, this has been lovely.
It has.
We continue to enjoy it. There's going to be a little bit of jiggery-pokery going on because we have to figure out when we're going to film that suits both of us. I'm still painting the house, and I'm definitely going to be painting it for the next fortnight. I'm hoping it'll be done then, and after that we'll settle into a routine.
Yeah, so you'll have noticed this last couple of times it's been a bit hit and miss about how long between our videos. We still try and do them every 2 weeks, But, you know.
But it
life
might be
gets in the
Saturdays,
way.
not Thursday. We were ill with COVID. That was one
Yes.
delay.
Yeah.
And this delay is more about 2 days here and there.
Yeah.
So,
Excellent.
yeah.
So, I hope everyone has a good next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Get out and
some
try new
grafting
things.
time. Yeah. Yeah, apparently that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. Buzzing. Nick, I'm going to have to have a nap. So much socialising.
Yeah, that's right. Bless you. Okay. Ka kite.
Kaki day, bye!